Howdy ho, traders. So we had some really good tech earnings yesterday. We had Google and AMD, and the markets are just on fire from that news. Now, don't get me wrong, PayPal came in and they're destroying it in the overnight. PayPal has a relatively small market cap relative to those other two stocks. And one thing about AMD, they had put up numbers equivalent to Intel. So very big change of leadership here in the tech industry. Okay. So basically, on my chart this morning, you can see what's going on here on relatively light volume here at 5 a.m. We are just having one heck of a move in these markets. I do have little bubbles on my charts there. We start accepting prices into that range. We're going to be that's a possible breakout scenario. So just heads up on that going into today's session. Uh, so I do want to float that right now. We are getting we are in areas where the moving averages we are above the 21 week moving average, and then and below the 50 daily moving average. And this tends to be a fairly fast move area. So just keep this one in watch here going forward. So I don't know if we're going to go higher or not, but I do want to float that idea that, you know, quite a possible fast move area. Don't get me wrong, we can come back down, but initially this morning, that doesn't look like a possibility. Hughes really on fire this morning. I mean, they've been hit the hardest with this whole reset in this market, thinking that the higher interest rates were going to have a major negative impact on tech. And I have to argue the fact, yeah, historically that is the case, but tech historically has had a lot of debt back whenever that assessment was out there, and nowadays tech is flush with cash. So this whole narrative that tech's going to go down because interest rates are going up, that may not be nearly as relevant as it used to be. Um, so just keep that in mind going forward here. So we're right here right now on tech, trying to. This was a fast move breakout zone. So I think very easily that we're going to. I don't know if we're going to continue with really strong legs today or not. We're up 1.6% right now here on the Qs. Uh, but given the nature of the news, there is a possibility we could be coming up to the. Um, Let me go on a daily time frame real quick here. See where that moving average is. So we are above, we're trading above our 200-day moving average. Yeah, okay, 4 hour. Okay. So, yeah, uh, the 20 weekly moving average, a back test of that. That's pretty much what I'm thinking here right now, here in the next day or two. That's where we're trying to take it. So Google just absolutely smoking this morning. All-time highs on Google this morning. We broke above the prior all-time highs. Uh, we are beyond a 2 standard deviation move versus what the options were pricing in, and it's just completely and totally on fire here. If you go out on a longer term time frame, like on a monthly here, you can see what we're doing here. We're up here. Look at this parabolic move on Google. We're right up here. Breaking out to new all-time highs. Very dangerous situation. You know, it, you know, is this ultimately just going to be, one half the move? We're up here at 3,040. If this proves to be half the move, this here was the breakout 14, so we doubled. So that would put us up here, 4,500, if this breakout proves to be justified. So just remember that going forward here on a monthly time frame. Or it's 45. Are we headed to 4,500 on Google? I don't know. I mean, just something to think about going forward here. AMD uh, really has been decimated. Having a really good morning. See, we're back to 130 already here on those earnings this morning. Major, pop back up there. I can very easily see us back up to the 135.76. If you go back on the 4 hour here, and that is the prior quarter pivot. So basically, we found support down here. We're going to be coming up here testing this area, in my opinion, the 136 area, to see if I do not want to be shorting AMD right out of the gate this morning. I do think it's going to have some legs, continue to have legs into the opening session here. And then we had PayPal last night, got decimated. Okay, and that is a horrible. After already having a very bad quarter, and they just completely decimated it. Let me go out here on the monthly on that, and you guys can see, this thing has really fallen out of favor. Now it's trading at 145, so we're below the monthly 50 SMA. That's the monthly 50 SMA. So we are trading right now below our monthly 50 SMA on PayPal. So, just keep this one on watch. That one, Eric, could actually be by the dip scenario going into the open here. So be careful on that. Like I said, the 50 SMA is around the 150. So that could very easily come back at or above the 150, in my opinion. Trying to trying to save that moving average in today's session, in my opinion. Okay, 1 second here. Oh, IWM. So here's continues to be my problem child, and let's go out on the daily real quick here, or 3-year weekly, I don't know. Okay, and so basically, we got a major. Okay, this looks like a left shoulder, and this looks like the head, and down here would be the right shoulder. That's what initially I thought was playing out. We came down to the monthly 20, 21 and found support. Now we're bouncing this morning. So definitely something I got on watch here. I mean, I thought it would come in more. So now if this market's really going to be putting in new all-time highs, I have to start thinking that this might be an inverted head and shoulders now. We tried to go to the upside. Now we're going to the downside. We went to the downside. So it's really got it. It's not a clean chart anymore, in my opinion, because we're coming back up this morning into if you go on a 4 hour here to see the overnight. So now I have to think we're going to come up into these bubbles, and we're going to back test that channel. So the 220 area, the 210, 212 area, possibly here in the next few days. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So we are coming off of a critical December monthly support, and the 21, like I said, looks like we're headed back to the like I said, the daily 21. Possibly even up to here. That's our next daily time frame, all the way back up to here, the 217 area on that one. So just keep that on watch as well. And I do want to point out here, a lot of these markets have already reset here. Like you go Dow Jones Industrials, see, we're less than 5% off the highs on the Dow Jones. So we've recovered, this thing really has not been impacted at all on this correction that we've had the past couple weeks. Whereas if you look at the NDX, we're still, where's it at here? 1 second here. Let me find the ticker. Okay, the index. I'm sorry, I had the wrong drawing set on. So we're still, technically here in the pre-market, we're still more than 10% on this correction. So 10% you enter a bear market in an indice, and we are technically right there, the bull bear cross on the NDX to open. We're going into the opens this morning with that scenario going on here. So remember that. Going into today's session, we're right there on that bull bear cross where if we do start seeing more buyers come in here, there could be another potential short squeeze in today's session. So I do want to float that idea out there. And then SPX, let's see if I got the percent correction. Yeah, there you go. We are about a 6% correction right now. Looks like we're about ready to cross. Uh, if and on the simple moving average, is that on here? It looks like at the 10%, right around the 10%, we got the weekly 21. This could definitely be in the cards today. The weekly 21, that'd be 45.71 here to the upside. Going into today's session. Okay. So this morning we have D.R. Horton, who's one of the major home builders, reporting this morning. We had, I think it's was it KB Home? KB Home reported yesterday, and they had some pretty decent numbers that came up. They did have a decline in the number of bookings. There's like a 14% decline in their. That's the most important element if you're doing home builders. You want to then to be building their book down the road. That shows a very strong market. And while they were able to raise prices and absorb costs, inflationary costs with the current uh, house build, that they were not able to expand their backlog. In fact, it contracted by 14%. And so we have this D.R. Horton probably going to do the same thing. In my opinion, it's probably not going to be that bullish. And if we go out on the 3-year weekly here, so this here, in my opinion, we might be sitting into a major, setting up for a major head and shoulders. KB Home pretty much didn't do much of anything based off their numbers. Okay. So I am watching that one, the DR Horton today, as a bearish move. Another one would be your Humana. With all the recent changes to uh, by Biden over the past quarter, it's added a lot to the cost structure of these healthcare providers, and that was not necessarily already factored into their business models. So anytime you have a administration coming out and they're mandating that these healthcare providers, they start paying for the mask, they start paying for this, they start paying for that as part of your basic insurance policy, that tends to be negative. Now, I know the markets are doing really well, but I do want to float that idea. We got record COVID cases. We got people who, uh, you know, you know, uh, a lot of people going in. They're getting, very expensive hospital stays, going on right now. So I am actually bearish on Humana, thinking they're probably going to get hit pretty hard today on the whole outbreak thing. They're going to have to absorb a lot of these costs. Okay, Marathon's reporting this morning. Chevron reported they missed a couple days ago, and then Exxon yesterday they had a really big buyback program. They announced they've been really watching their costs and stuff. So Exxon did really well off their earnings. Now today we got Marathon, and let's keep a close eye on that. It has had an incredible year so far. So I do definitely want to keep that. I mean, we've got a low of 14 sub $14, and now we're trading over $20 for Marathon. So definitely a very bullish chart pattern with the whole energy space. So I definitely want to keep this one on watch. The trend tends to be strong for this industry right now. Uh, I think of Marathon more like a Chevron, so I'm actually thinking that they're probably going to have some sell side action on that one. It's not run nearly as well as Exxon, in my opinion. Okay, after hours today, we do have Facebook, which is now called Meta, reporting after hours here. So it looks like the move has been fully priced in already. We're already into that quarter pivot. Don't really expect too much action today in today's action. Remember that The XLC, that's your communication ETF. Uh, Facebook, Google, Amazon, big. They amount for almost 50% of the fund. Okay, and whenever Google has a blowout quarter like it did, it's going to naturally take Facebook and Amazon with it in the overnight session. So that's why you're actually seeing a bid in Facebook, in my opinion. There's a there's a synergy there with Facebook and Amazon whenever Google has really good numbers. So basically, we're working up into this first quarter pivot here on Marathon on Facebook. There's another quarter pivot at 335 area, 330 480 area. So obviously, I have a feeling we're going to be trading somewhere between the 330 335 in today's session today. Not much more than that until the numbers actually hit the tape. So, and I'm actually bearish on Facebook, but uh, thinking that social media is going to be impacted negatively because of the reopening theme. Another stock that we got to keep a close eye on, that's our Qualcomm. Uh, Believe it or not, that tends to trade similarly to AMD. Okay, so just keep that one on watch here. Qualcomm does have more Chinese exposure, and China's been having a very bad quarter. So I do want to float that idea, and they have some exposure to Apple, but Qualcomm does a lot more than just Apple. So I do want to float that. Apple's having a very good quarter. AMD's having a very good quarter. Uh, but Qualcomm definitely could be having a breakout. So I do want to float that idea. And I don't have my pivots up here, but if you go out in a 10-year monthly, you can see Qualcomm's another one of those stocks, just absolutely parabolic. A very pricey stock in the current climate. Spotify is out of favor right now. There were some comments made about COVID about a week ago by one of their main talks persons, and there's been a boycott. A lot of actors, or a lot of musicians and stuff, are boycotting their products to be used on the Spotify network. So, and not to mention, you're probably going to see a decline in subscriptions based off of a negative sentiment. We had a similar situation a couple of months ago with Facebook. When you get negative sentiment, that quarter tends to, yeah, they have to really ratchet down their guidance and all that stuff as well. So I'm not expecting too much upside to this one. So don't know if we're going to sell down too much, but I'm sure not expecting a whole lot of upside. Honeywell is reporting after hours. Like I said, we had a decline in the number of bookings, back bookings. I do think Honeywell is going to have fairly decent numbers, but I'm actually thinking they're going to ratchet down guidance. So just keep that in mind. We do have a gap not too far below us here, so that concerns me that we're going to be breaking that gap. So basically, we have the potential tonight on Honeywell, if we do get a bad reaction to earnings. In my opinion, this could be an island top reversal here. Anytime I see that and we're trading right near that gap going into earnings, I have to always wonder if we might actually be getting a significant island top in the overnight session. Now, this is going to hit tomorrow morning. So this is a big concern of mine that, hey, if Honeywell has a gap down on their earnings here, this thing here could be left up here by itself for a long time. So just heads up on that. Merck is reporting after hours, so just keep this one on or tomorrow morning. Merck is reporting tomorrow morning, so some of our pharma are reporting tomorrow. You got Merck right there. I can't really tell. I mean, with all the government spending going on with the whole COVID stuff, it's hard to say what's going to happen there. Then we have Lilly. Lily's reporting, so that's another one to keep on watch here. Looks like on the daily here, we are trying to violate this 200-day moving average. So definitely, I mean, if we came in breaking that, this thing could start a bearish trend here on Lily. So this one here bothers me because the ascension in the 200-day moving average, this thing is almost parabolic, and it looks like we are running out of time here on that potential move here. Okay, another one I want to talk about here. That's our ConocoPhillips, have in on an absolute tear here. Uh, so definitely we do have a prior breakout here for ConocoPhillips. It's coming off of a very much lower base here. So we're up almost 30% going into these earnings as hitting tomorrow morning. So remember that. And we have Shell reporting tomorrow morning too. That is a let's see, what was it? Our Shell. I think either one of these will work. Let's go with the A. No, wrong one. 1 second here, guys. Let me get that going here real quick. Okay, last one I'm talking about here. I'm pretty sure that's this ticker for Royal Dutch Shell. Obviously, it's having a nice recovery here. It has room. This is one of the laggards with what's going on with the. But I do think you're probably looking more bullish than bearish on the whole Shell theme. It looks like we've got a downtrend here. We're preparing to break out of here on the monthly time frame. So just a few of the things I wanted to talk about today, like a mixed bag stuff that I'm looking at. So, guys, if you see something that I don't see, let me know. I'm leaning, obviously more bullish in the markets going into some of the earnings. I just don't think we're gonna, you know, see it rip your head off from the open. They're probably going to want to digest some of this move since it's such a massive gap. We're probably going to come back in early on this morning and try to fill some of the big, massive gap that we had in the overnight session. Okay, thanks a lot.